What happened to the prettiest, most popular girl after high school? She's working at American National. She was a total B in school, but she's been really nice every time I've seen her since. Funny how it works out like that sometimes. There was a guy a year above me who was almost a comically stereotypical butthole jock in high school. I ended up at the same college as him and we kind of randomly were in the same extended group of friends. He turned into a pretty good guy and we ended up pretty good friends by the time we graduated. Our popular girl was co-head cheerleader, homecoming queen, and an honor student. In the top 25 out of a graduating class of about 400, she is now a physician. Some people just have it all. Got hotter, got a doctorate, travels the world curing AIDS in third world countries with her equally hot fiancé. We had sort of a group of popular girls, and they were all pretty nice, smart people. One works for Snapchat, another works for an international NGO and is pretty much constantly traveling to developing countries. One's a music teacher, and another one is going to medical school. For a while I had that whole everyone in my school is so dumb and shallow and I'm real uncool attitude that I think some people tend to get when they're insecure and already really different, and need to cope with it in one way or another. But at my 5-year reunion I went to on a whim. I realized that so many people I wrote off in high school because they were popular and I wasn't were really interesting, nice people. She was voted best looking, and married the guy who was voted best looking. That was 34 years ago. Still married, still good looking, and all around good people. Did some modeling, got fake boobs, worked on a mine site for several years driving heavy machinery and pulling in the big bucks. Got featured on a reality TV show about FIFO, fly in fly out, miners. A few news articles picked up her story with her modeling past. Eventually got a small feature on the Playboy website. Most recently was on another reality show, this time a dating show where she was quite successful. That is a sharp pivot in career choice. One of the most popular girls at my school got pregnant during our senior year by the guy she'd been dating since the 7th grade. Against all odds she is on her way to becoming a teacher with a 3-year-old daughter and is still with her middle school sweetheart. She and her boyfriend are being charged with the murder of an elderly man. There's currently a warrant out for her arrest, but it's been months and they haven't found her. Last I saw, she was panhandling on the street. She was popular in HS, made the front page of the town paper for graduation, super smart in university. During college, she developed schizophrenia. She was in and out of the psych ward a lot. Heard from my mom, who knew her mom. She was an absolute terror all of a sudden, wasn't responding to medication well, and was turning to drugs. That's really sad. She's still trying to get over her ex-boyfriend that was 5 years older than her. She's broke, obtained her associates, and now trying to get into a university's nursing program. Luckily, she has an ugly wealthy boyfriend that can support her while she pursues her education. Source: I'm the ugly wealthy boyfriend. Dat plot twist. She was a ballerina who posted selfies to FB all the time. They stopped suddenly about a month ago. Now I'm seeing a bunch of RIP posts to her wall. I'm guessing not great. Not 6 months after graduation, she was convicted for collaborating her boyfriend's armed robbery of the local Burger King where she worked. You could say that she was a real knockout. Well, she's Emily Ratajkowski, so I guess she's doing pretty well. She came out as a lesbian, married her partner and they had a baby last year. I assume artificial insemination. She was always not only beautiful and athletic, but super sweet and friendly, even to a big nerd like me. Deserves all good things that come her way. I think your assumptions are possible. She got married to a dude that's actually pretty average looking, but tall as frick. I'm pretty sure he's at least 6 feet 7 inches. She immediately had a baby and started doing what she did in high school. Photography and being pretty and personable to get exclusive access to events that people want photographed. Backstage at concerts, footy events, festivals, political stuff, etc. She's usually a nice girl. I won't lie and tell you that she was nicer than average, because she wasn't. She was just way prettier than average, won statewide beauty pageants a couple of times, and fairly smart, so she successfully leveraged her good looks to get exactly what she wanted in life, which is a cute kid, a husband that makes money and worships her, and a fat paycheck for maybe 15 hours of work a week. If she was stupid or meaner, she wouldn't have been half as successful. She also still looks exactly like she did in high school, just with better makeup, which helps. The rest of us just got older and fatter. We're friends, if it matters. She had a lot of issues in high school, lots of family baggage. I think that's why she wanted to create a picture perfect happy ending for herself so badly. I wasn't exactly a slouch myself in the popularity department in high school, so we ran in the same circles. I went to school with Kate Upton, the Miss South Carolina Teen USA contestant who said the whole US Americans, like such as, thing a few years ago. She was really sweet. Actually, she was never exactly bright, but she was always nice and helpful to everyone. As far as I know, she went on to do some TV shows, modeling, and she is a real estate agent now. For a moment I thought you meant Kate Upton. My school didn't really have one of those, even though there were about 1,000 people in my high school, as it was too hippied out. There was one group who dressed and looked like the popular kids, but nobody really liked them and they weren't ever really invited to any parties. Same with my current high school. The most popular kids are the funny kids who are pretty nice to everyone. To be fair, it is an arts-based school. We're all gay or fricked up in some way. She was quite nice and dated the handsome football star. After high school she got implants and became the trophy girlfriend for the football star who now plays in the NFL. He was also a pretty nice guy, so I'm glad he's been successful because he was too dumb for anything else. That was the nicest, kindest way to absolutely bomb someone I have ever heard. Good sir. Every reasonably attractive girl I went to school with finished college and is now gainfully employed, and most of them live on their own or are on their way to doing so. Nothing exciting. Well, I don't know if she finally graduated high school this year or not, but I don't know the details. Basically, she's one of those promo girls for a nightclub, has had multiple nudes leaked, and has supposedly had sex with her sugar daddy, who is also her ex-stepfather, for a boob job and some lip injections. There are so many levels of messed up right here. She's still super hot. I saw her at the grocery store last week and she's like 8 months pregnant. Hottest pregnant chick I've ever seen. Lucky guy whoever he is. I wouldn't have pulled out either. Smart man. Lock that crap down. About to graduate med school. Still drop dead gorgeous. And recently engaged to a fellow student. Also contacts me semi-regularly to say hi and see what I'm up to and congratulate me on anything important in my life. B. She's had a good life. The kind of life she wanted. A happy marriage, a job she loves, active in her church, and her kids grew up to be getting a good start in their own lives. She was not only popular and beautiful, but very friendly and kind. She still looks great too. This is going to sound like the most anticlimactic humble brag ever, but the most popular girl in my high school was me. I was the cheer captain, homecoming and prom queen, voted friendliest, best dressed and most likely to become a supermodel in the school. I graduated, went to college for a year and dropped out due to mental health issues, depression and anxiety. I now work in sales and marketing at a cable company. I live with my boyfriend and that's about it. I'm pretty happy, I guess. I quit wearing makeup or doing my hair fancy every day and deleted all social media. Well, good on you for that. You keep doing you. I saw her at a steak and shake a couple years ago. Took me a few minutes to figure out who she was because she looked so familiar. She had gotten super fat, almost beyond recognition, and was yelling at a bunch of kids who turned out to be her own. It was satisfying. She was, and apparently still is, a huge B. Some might say she grew into a bigger B. I attended my HS 30-year reunion, mainly to show off my beautiful wife. In HS I was the absolute loser with girls. In particular there was this one gorgeous cheerleader whose legs would make a guy salivate. She openly ridiculed me, once I think due to the color of my socks. We had way too many classes together. Anyway, at this 30-year reunion, This former cheerleader sits down next to me and starts talking to me like I am a long lost friend. I play along, but dang, time has not been kind to this woman. If I were single I would not be interested at all. Moral of the story, some people peak in high school. You do not want to be one of those people. But I haven't even begun to peak. I was the prom queen my senior year and had tons of friends. Lost my scholarship. Dropped out after a year of aimless community college with zero debt and zero skills. Did nothing for 3 years. Made new friends. And got a job cashiering at Walmart. It's not that bad. We get an hour for lunch. Well, they say the happiest people in life are not those that have everything, but those that can find happiness in what they innately or already have. There was definitely a most popular girl in my school. I wouldn't call her the prettiest, but her personality made her very much sought after by just about every guy. I went to a pretty diverse school and she was nice to everyone. We graduated and she goes on to a great school but parties too much and gets kicked out. A couple months ago she died of a drug overdose at a party. It truly was tragic because she was a great person. She received a full ride to an Ivy League school, got pregnant the summer between high school and college, had the kid. Baby's father, a college senior, left her high and dry. She became a huge druggie. Her subsequent kids got taken away from her. She's been in rehab a few times, and she's now super fat. Sadly, she's done nothing with her life and she posts about her idiocy drama on Facebook constantly. You're a 34-year-old woman, Megan. Get your crap together. One mistake. That's all it takes to frick up your whole life. There were twin sisters who were extremely popular and pretty. Very snobby, so not anyone I'd interact with. I was definitely part of the weird crowd. When I saw them at our 20th reunion, they were each easily over 200 pounds and just over 5 feet tall. They were wearing skin-tight low-cut tops, skin-tight mini skirts, with wide belts wrapped loosely around the middle. They were very vivacious, having a good time, but really not dressed well. I still don't understand it, because they didn't dress riskily in HS. It was really weird. She's a life coach. She has about 4,000 Facebook friends. Her Facebook photos are 90% close-up selfies of herself and the same 3 friends smooshing their painted faces against each other. She is incredibly over-enthusiastic about the most average of things. Overall, she's not evil or anything, but she is very full of herself and very shallow. Sounds like she's as basic as they come. I saw her in the metro in Montreal with an older lady who was trying to explain the employee's manual of a major bank to her. No, you don't have to read the whole thing. Just if you have questions you look the answers up, with the index, at the front of the book. No, I don't know what your questions are. No, I don't know what the answers to the questions you don't even have yet are. It's a book. If you can't operate a book, I am not sure I can help you. Her teeth still look fabulous though. She got hit by a car and was never the same. Heartbreaking, honestly. Even for those that didn't like her, no one wanted to see that. One day she's the prom queen and the next she's in a wheelchair, can't speak, limited mobility, and is with the developmentally disabled students. It was rough for everyone to see. I feel completely horrible because for a good second I thought you were talking Regina George from Mean Girls. Class of 97. She went to Brown, then Harvard. She got a job at Goldman Sachs. She made it out of the collapse a millionaire. She didn't come to the 10-year reunion, but her Facebook indicates she lives in France, doesn't work anymore and just takes care of her kids. Her husband seems to be involved with the movie business somehow. It's not clear. She married a rich guy. Rich guy is the most genuine, down-to-earth person I know. She was the classic full of herself student in school, just passing by with less than average grades. Apparently, she has bald patches now because she started pulling strands of her hair out. The class hottie popular girl happened to be my bully, so I kept tabs on her via social media after high school. She's the baby mama to 2 little boys from 2 different dads, both dads who have mysteriously vanished. She worked briefly at a donut shop but quit after a month and has been on welfare since the first kid was born. She got fat as frick and lives in a dirty trailer, wastes money on drugs, begs her high school friends for money to help her buy her kids clothes, and isn't willing to learn how to drive a car, so she mooches rides off everyone who knows her. lost her scholarship, got pregnant, dropped out of community college, and deleted all her social media profiles. Satisfying after all the bullying. Both of them are continuing to be pretty and popular in college. Not surprising really, that's what they're good at. One's doing chemical engineering, I think the other is in some fine art program. Both have quite attractive boyfriends as well, although I'm 80% sure the engineer one is cheating on her boyfriend with another girl. She's becoming a doctor, and we still chat frequently. I work as a mental health care professional and we often discuss fake case studies, treatment plans, and the resources our different communities have. She's a lovely gal who hasn't been able to settle down with anyone, has mentioned it's a bummer, but she copes well. She runs marathons for fun, is a total babe still, and very nice. Depends on who was the prettiest of the two that people generally agreed on. One became Miss USA, and the other is an actress model who seems to be doing well for herself. They were both good people in high school, and they're probably still good people now. Her profile came up on FB recently. I clicked on her profile pic to see she has got fat. She used to make fun of me for being chubby. I get the last laugh, Sarah, you fat C. She got huge and married a fat dude. They have built a very happy family with kids over the past few years. They are kind of my go-to jolly fat people on Facebook. She killed herself 1 year after her younger sister, also the prettiest, most popular girl of her year, fell through ice and drowned. Absolutely horrible. She was a very nice person. I know this sounds weird and vain, but I was this girl in a school of 130 kids, grade 7-12 in a rural area. I had moved there from overseas. I was well traveled and came from a cosmopolitan area and seemed exotic, so I kinda attracted a lot of the guys and was that popular girl. In fact, all of my friends were the guys in my grade and I didn't really have many female friends due to a constant smear campaign that I was a major S, although I didn't lose my virginity until I was 18. I just enjoyed the company of the guys more than the girls because we had more common interests. So after graduation I worked in a restaurant in town over the summer to save up for university, and toward the end of summer we had a few going away parties. During one of these parties I got far too drunk on cheap wine and one of my friends offered to drive me home. I found myself the victim of sexual assault at the hands of one of my closest friends. I guess he was annoyed that he had been such a friend to me and never received any kind of sexual validation for his efforts. I reported the assault to the police as I had enough evidence to press charges. Bruises on my neck, didn't shower afterwards. Eyewitnesses to say he took me home while I was severely intoxicated, but because the town was very small, word got out. My social worker for the case literally told me OJ's mother must be devastated, and the word that went around town was that I was lying. I lost all of my friends and I was ostracized from my social group. I left town to go to university and managed 1 year with fabulous grades before I lost 40 pounds and had a major mental breakdown that landed me in the psych ward with a diagnosis of PTSD and major depressive disorder. I then dropped out of school. I also couldn't hold down employment due to constant flashbacks of the assault, panic attacks, etc. I lost my job too. To this day, 5 years later, I am a chronic job hopper. I live in a squad type situation with 5 other street punks and I am in a relationship with a very frightening man because he makes me feel safe and takes care of me where I now seem to be unable to take care of myself. If I could just go back in time, I wouldn't have pressed charges or told anyone about the assault. That way I would still be welcome in the town I made home, still have my social circle of successful peers, still be just me, and I might not have crumbled and fell apart so much. I realize this is a major ramble, but I'm currently day drunk. My bad. Sorry for bumming you guys out. Well, I went to Catholic school. Don't worry, I'm safely lapsed now, and the prettiest girl in our school went to college, got a degree, worked about 6 months, then got married to some older, accountant looking dude and is currently up to 4 kids and counting. Her entire Facebook feed is pictures of her kids doing various Catholic school type stuff like First Communion, Christmas plays, and anti-abortion letter writing campaigns. Sometimes she's in the pictures too. She looks a little bit haggard on occasion, but she does appear to love her little squad of offspring very much. A little squad of offspring. We call those families. I went to a weird school where the cheerleaders were all considered dumbass and the popular kids were smart and in band. So the popular girls went on to be very successful. I know my homecoming queen got a free ride to Harvard and moved to New York. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.